What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture. It is the Monday after, that is the Monday after New York Comic Con, where a lot of people had a lot of fun and a lot of things were announced. Like this right here, the new CBCS labels for their slabs. Now, I know it's been talked about already. A lot of great YouTubers have made videos. I highly recommend you guys go and checking out Swaggle Haas's video that he made talking about it. I had to give myself a couple of days to process, but I am here today to give you all my humble personal opinion, and I also want to discuss what I feel this means for CBCS and for the grading industry in general. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, folks, please take some time to do so. Check out all the links in the description below as well. Make sure you click that notification bell. If you like the video, click like. If you don't like it, click the thumbs down. It's all good. But before we get into the topic of discussion, I want to take less than 60 seconds to shout out and thank today's sponsor, my good friends, SpiderDudeComics.com. Today's video was sponsored by my good friends over at Spider Dude Comics. You can check out their links in the description below. You guys can save 10% off of any order by using the code JOURNOS10. This code never expires. And also, if they have any other promotions going on their website, you can always piggyback the JOURNOS10 to get that extra 10% off as well. You can search by Marvel or DC or certain ages like Silver to Golden, or your favorite characters like mine, Spider-Man. You guys could see a little bit of what they got going on here. Again, Silver Age to modern books. Stuff is extremely well priced. If you know me by now, you know that I only push those that I truly support and that I truly believe in. So again, guys, go check out SpiderDudeComics.com. You can also follow them on Instagram, and you can check out their YouTube channel by finding their link in the description below or finding their YouTube link on their website. All right, everyone, let's dive into this. Now, I have zoomed in to these labels. I know it's going to be blurry for you all still. I mean, that's the picture. It wasn't really a very high-res scan to begin with, but I'm sure you all can get the idea. So, what do we have here? We have the standard label on the top. You can see that's in a 9.8 grade. We have a 9.9 and then a 10, and we see some color differentiation between the three. Again, Swaggle Haas broke these differences down very well in his review. I'm not going to go too much into detail of what they're changing here. Obviously, you get the black with the yellow or golden 10. You get the light blue with the golden 9.9, and you go more to that standard white. So, what do I think of these new labels for CBCS? Well, first, let's look at the label that was the newest label before this. To me, there was a lot of negativity surrounding this label, but it wasn't completely horrible because I want to remind everyone, this is what CBCSs came from. Now, outside of CGC's original labels, I don't even need to show you all where it was. I mean, it looked like it was printed off from a 1990s, MS-DOS program, for those that are old enough to even know what that is. They were pretty bad, and of course, then nothing trumps those in terms of just nasty. But let's look at this. CBCS has had some of the funkiest labels, in my humble opinion. One of the ones that I really, first off, I hated their original logo with the shield. That was just horrific in my humble opinion. This label right here. Now, the label itself isn't too bad within, but this like a vault border around it was so bad. But I just, and there's no rhyme to the reason, or rhyme and reason to where they would lay out their, you got some info over here and some info over here. It really didn't make very much sense. They started changing and putting, this is kind of more like what CGC did, more to the left, but then again, outside of their original ones, they took away the white. And they put this information more towards the right next to the label, which was more clear and readable. And even here, they try to do the white behind it, and then they went to this. I thought the blue was decently clean, and I liked how they changed the label, just kind of that bluish holographic outline to the label. And the font was clean, don't get me wrong, but again, people did not like how the gray didn't pop. And honestly, I agree. This was one of my biggest concerns with the CBCS labels, though. Why was all the info that was to the right in some random place? Like, this isn't like center of the book, center of the label would be like right here. It's not even centered to the label. It's like off to the right, but then it's not like, ultimately it lacks an asymmetric, you know, evened out side to side, left to right layout. It made no sense. So let's look at these new labels here. I'm looking at this and it's just, oh man, so much better. So much better. Okay, so we have a very asymmetric layout for one. Now, we also have the white behind the gray number, and I like the font. This font for the number was, to me, very, I don't know, kids book, like, I teach, you know, as an educator in teaching like phonics to kids, like if I have letter or number cards, that's what it reminds me of. Like, let's learn to count to 10, and we have our number cards. 1, 2, it's very just kindergarten, elementary. This is much more, you know, it just speaks to like more of a professional, mature ruggedness in this font, and it actually matches the font on the CBCS logo, which I really like. Now, one thing Swagos was saying in his review too is sometimes it seems that, and I know this isn't clear, but that the font is still a little small, okay? But again, a very asymmetric layout. We still got this blue strip on top, which they were doing. They did have a blue strip on top, which of course CGC does, but it says CGC Universal grade in that blue label. So this is very much more of a minimum strip. But here's the interesting thing. They are changing it up. You still have the light blue behind the number for your 9.9s. And I know this looks yellow, but it's really like a holographic or a foil type material that you will see on the actual label that'll kind of shimmer. And this one even is like a blue shimmer. So this is kind of more of a golden shimmer. And the black behind the 10 on the 10 grades. My favorite thing about these labels is the black behind the golden 10. I actually wish they would do 9.8s like that, because I probably will never own a 10. If I did want to own a 9.8, I could have one of these labels that looks super freaking clean. Now, I wasn't really a fan of this indentation, this arrow type indentation at first. But like I said, I needed to give myself a couple days before I came and made a video on this. The more I'm looking at it, the more I'm okay with it. It's settling with me. And I'm going to tell you guys, I am really liking these new labels. CBCS has stepped up their game 100%. Now, am I going to go as far as say it's a better label than CGC? Well, let's look at this. I mean, it's very similar because you got the gradient moving from light to dark, left to right. And on these new labels, they're just opposite. It's right to left, light to dark, right? But until you get to the 9.9 and the 10, then it goes the same way as the CGC. I don't see anything in the back of the label like you do with the CGC. You do have the CGC logo, you know, in the back there, not fully transparent. Again, I know this is a high res and the other one isn't. I do believe I like the full-on hologram sticker on the right, but one thing that I'm really liking, and I'm going to say this, guys, I like that the gray number isn't a sticker. I like that it's white now and that it pops, but I like that it's not a sticker. I'm sorry, to me, that speaks not just professional, but it speaks to the cleanliness of the graphic design, and it just seems more mature to me. Again, let's look at this. What was I saying about the old font that CBCS used? Same with CGC. Not that this is as bad as the old font, the numbering font, but to me, it still looks a bit more adolescent. The 9.6 here looks more adolescent. But hey, you can argue and say it's just more basic. I don't know. Guys, this is really tough when I'm talking about which one I like better. I think overall there's a little bit of more cleanliness when it comes to the middle of the label and the actual font that is the title of the book and the information of the book than these. But when it comes to the how they've really incorporated the 9.8 grade in there, I'm really liking that better. So, and again, I think this tops everything. The fact that they're going with the gold shimmer and the black behind a gold 10, amazing, amazing, amazing. But overall, I can't pick one or the other. But I think CBC is right there once again with their labels with CGC. So CBCS right there with their labels with CGC. Now, what I wanted to do, and of course, I want to hear all your guys' opinions down below in the comments on just what you think of the aesthetics of this label, right? But I also want to know what you all think this means for CBCS as a brand, and what does it mean for the grading industry moving forward. Now, I want to dive into some comments that were left on this to kind of look at that aspect of it. What are people really saying about this? And is it going to change perspective on if people are going to send more books to CBCS now? But we got to remember here, there's another player in the game that I want to bring up, and that is EGS. Now, for those that don't know, it's been about a year almost since EGS got its proprietary slabs, and I did a review on that. If you guys want to refer back to that and watch that video, I put their slabs right on par pretty much with CGC. And here is, now what a lot of people don't know is that, you know, because EGS is known for their custom labels, they have a standard blue label. And you guys could see the standard blue label right next to the EGS label right here. They got a hologram on the right. They got the grade right back here. And in all honesty, the standard blue label for EGS really stacks right up there with CGC's. I mean, they don't have a, you know, universal above here with that black with the blue bar, but you know, you got a circle instead of kind of more of this square sticker. Same with the logo, but you got a nice gradient. You got clear font. You know, this is extremely clean in my humble opinion. So I really, when it comes to the standard blue label, you got 3 companies. I won't even talk about the other one because while their label that they've been rolling with for the last few years isn't horrible, I will never stand behind that company. That's a whole other argument. I'm not getting into it right now. You got 3 companies that have solid slabs, that have solid labels now. And if you want to talk about grading, because that matters too, we could talk about that as well. But I'm going to focus on the aesthetics one more time and just say EGS is right on par with both of these companies in terms of aesthetics, and I wanted to throw them in the mix because it's not a conversation without them, in my humble opinion. But let us move away from the aesthetics and let's get into reading some of these comments, because I really want to see what some people are looking at saying when it comes to the changes CBCS has made. So this person says, huge. Now when I'm burning money sending comments to CBCS, the labels will look different. This person might just be being cynical, or maybe they're already a CBCS fan and they're like, okay, yeah, this person says it's about time. Let's see. These look really good, way better than what they used to look like. I'll care when they start offering custom labels. Here you go. So here's somebody that, you know, probably EGS. You know, that's what they offer. Same ugly font logo, but better. So I like this logo the best out of all their logos, but, you know, and it's not the same font when it comes to the numbering, and I like that. I don't think the font in here is that ugly. I do think it's a little more, it's a little less, I think, crisp and legible, so to say, maybe. But I think it's a decent font, for sure. Let's see what else we have. Another money grab. I mean, but this is what they're in business for, Mr. Brandon. They are. People literally can't stop complaining about CBR. Also, can't stop beating down the best competitor. I don't know what they're even talking about. Got to change the shield around the CBCS. It looks goofy. Okay, all right. Hey, valid. Any custom labels? Wow, a lot of people asking for custom labels. All right. This person, Steven, says, this doesn't make me want to use them any more or less. Doesn't move the needle at all for me one way or other. Some people will like it. Some people will hate it. Some people won't care at all. My guess would be that it is a complete wash in terms of change in customers. I do still believe that they have the best physical case. I wish I would have had a good experience with them because I would have used them more frequently. All right, great updated label. Glad to see the grade finally stands out. Indeed. I will use them now for some books. I just couldn't with that old label. It was such an eyesore. All right. I never did CBCS because the package looked ridiculous. I'm assuming they mean the label. Not a fan of the blue label for a restored book. Seems kind of shady, like their verified books now being yellow labels. Well, I mean, it's not shady because it says right there, this is the new restored. I mean, Scott, respectfully, it says right there. There's nothing shady about this. Maybe it just means, you know, people like consistency and you know, they don't mind having a restored book but they want it to look and have the same color. You know, people have OCD as comic collectors. We know this. Not a fan, but wish the company well. Now graded comics with the classic labels are going to need to be graded and cased. Well, again, what I talk about like OCD and pet peeves, right? Still ugly in my opinion, especially when resto books can easily be taken for no, they can't, David. I'm guys, look, man, if anybody is mistaking a restored book for a standard, like that's on you. It says right there, restored. Come on, I'm not falling for that. I'm not going to have any compassion or empathy for anybody saying that. That's just cheesy. People are really opinionated on CGC labels versus CBCS labels, and I really got to say, they're both ugly. Both companies can afford to get actual artists to design their labels. They have amazing access to artists that they're just not utilizing in the search for a better label. CBCS has even less work to do. They could just use BGS labels and they win the label war hands down. Why they haven't is absolutely beyond me. How do I get a job making these kind of decisions? Because I know I could have come up with something better. A 5-year-old with a huge box of crayons could do better. What's really, Sam, I'm going to humbly disagree with you. I'm not saying that they can't continue to improve. They can. I'm going to disagree with Sam here because the irony in Sam's comments here is Sam says he's all about, you know, I could do a better label and these are what 5-year-olds do. The thing is, guys, the labels aren't supposed to always be some extravagant piece of art. They're supposed to be a basically a certifying recognition of a certified grade. They're not supposed to be super crazy if you don't want them to be. Okay? I mean, you know the saying less is more? Less is more. Well, that's this. I mean, you don't need more in a label for it to mean that it's better. It needs to be professional to get the point across that this is a certified grade. Nothing more, nothing else. Again, can they improve? Sure. Should custom labels be a thing? I mean, I think CGC does a great job with their custom labels with the superheroes on them. I think EGS does a great job as well, customizing, especially color coordinating and making them more of a piece of art. But you can even see some of the custom labels that EGS does. Sometimes they're more simple and they just add that, you know, in a really simple way. They add what needs to be added to make the book pop. But they still look professional, right? Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any that says, like, this is going to make me buy them more, but yeah, I think that CBCS never again. Okay, I'm going to wrap up this video, folks, by just giving you my opinion of what I think this means for CBCS moving forward. As you can see in the comments, I definitely think it speaks well to a lot of the consumers out there that really enjoy the aesthetics. Remember, people get books graded for a few different things. They get them graded because they want a certified grade. They trust in these companies to say, these are a professional company, professional third-party company that is going to give me a certified grade. It means something to me. That stamp, that certification, that approval means that this is what this grade is, number one. Number two, they want to maybe protect their books, and they see the encasing as a protection. And number three, they like the aesthetics. They like the case. they like the label, they like the whole package, and it just allows their books to present in a certain way that a raw book doesn't. So this speaks highly to a lot of collectors out there. I know me, I like a little of everything. I obviously want somebody that I can trust in their grading because the grade needs to mean something, but I also love the aesthetics, both case and label. So as somebody that's never sent in a book to CBCS, I really want to do it now. I really want to send a couple books into CBCS. I really want to get a couple of these labels. I've seen their new cases, and I think they're decent. I think that CGC and EGS still have slightly better cases. And but man, the label game is on. Now for me, because I haven't experienced CBCS, I don't know what their grading is like. I've experienced a little with EGS, and the books that I've sent in, their grades have been very valid, and I know Tony over there, and I know he's very transparent about his grading system. So I like that. With CGC, I've had a lot of inconsistency. I've learned that there really is a CGC standard that you can get to learn, but it is unfortunate that it's oftentimes still inconsistent, and that pisses me off. And I call them out on it all the time. So I don't know if CBCS is inconsistent, more inconsistent, if they grade more conservatively, grade more liberally. I don't know those things, but I definitely want to try them. I think this is definitely going to up the game to some extent, but at the end of the day, what's going to matter is this going to change people's perspective on value? Does this make the demand go up in a way to where it drives the value of my graded book up? Because we are all stuck on the fact that, well, CGCS books go for more on this secondary market. And again, I made videos about this. I'll probably make more in the future. It's not as black as white as it seems, but only we can make a change. One consumer, one collector at a time. With that being said, folks, that's my video for today. I want to hear all of your guys' thoughts. Do you like the new labels? What do you like about them? And is this going to make you buy into CBCS more now? Where do I rate them on a scale of 1 to 10? I'll tell you what. I'm going to put all the blue labels. I'm going to put CBCS's, at least right now. My opinion could change. I'm going to put CBCS. I'm going to put CGC and EGS all at 8s. They're blue labels, that is. I'm going to put them all at 8s. They're all equally great to me. And why do I put them at 8s? Because why I disagree with what Sam was saying. I do believe there is definitely room for improvement for all of them. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be well, and until next time.